You know that person, the one who walked into the coffee shop this morning, and even before they spoke, the room seemed to tilt toward them. They aren't necessarily the loudest, the richest, or even the best-looking person there, but they have this magnetic pull. People don't just like them, they seem to cherish them. They have these deep, immovable roots in their relationships that make them seem almost immune to loneliness. Then, there's everyone else. Maybe that's you. You do everything right. You're kind. You show up on time. You remember birthdays. You try so hard to be the person everyone wants to be around, but at the end of the day, you feel like a ghost in your own life. You have friends, but you don't feel seen. You have a partner, but you don't feel known. You're doing the work, but the results aren't showing up. What if I told you that the difference between being liked and being loved deeply has nothing to do with your personality? What if the reason you feel disconnected isn't because you aren't enough, but because you're speaking a language that was designed to keep people away? There is a single, invisible wall that most of us build to protect ourselves, and it's the very thing making us unlovable. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to tear it down. Let's talk about the good person trap. You spend your life being easy to love. That's the lie we're told, isn't it? Be agreeable. Don't cause trouble. Be the one who always has it together. You become a master at smoothing over the edges of your personality so you don't bump into anyone else's. In your friendships, you're the listener. People come to you with their problems, and you hold space for them. But when you go home and close the door, you realize no one actually knows what your problems are. Because you never told them. You didn't want to be a burden. In your relationship, you're the stable one. You don't pick fights. You don't ask for much. You've become so good at anticipating what your partner needs that you've accidentally made yourself invisible. You think you're being selfless, but what you're actually doing is disappearing. You feel it, don't you? That heavy, hollow ache in your chest when you're in a room full of people who supposedly love you. Yet you feel like if you walked out the door, the conversation wouldn't change. You've become a background character in your own story. The tragedy is that you're working harder than anyone else. You are exhausting yourself trying to be lovable. You're curated. You're polished. You're safe. But safe is the opposite of deep. Therapists often see people who are perfect on paper, but utterly lonely in reality. They have followed every rule of social etiquette, yet they lack the one thing that actually bonds two humans together. Think about the last time you were truly moved by someone. Was it because they were perfect? Or was it because they were messy? Was it because they had it all together? Or because they finally let the mask slip and showed you the part of them they were ashamed of? We are drawn to the cracks in people, not the polish. Yet, we spend our entire lives trying to hide our own cracks. You are trying to be loved for your mask, and even when people love it, you don't feel it, because you know it's not you they're loving. It's the character you've played that you've been waiting for someone to see through the mask. But you've made the mask so thick that no one can find the person underneath. That is why you feel unloved. Not because you aren't worthy, but because you are hiding the only part of you that is actually capable of being loved. So, how do the magnet people do it? How do they walk through life with that unshakable sense of belonging? It isn't a secret skill they were born with. It's a choice they make in the small, uncomfortable moments that most of us run away from. There is a specific vulnerability loop that creates an instant, biological bond between two people. When this loop is closed, it acts like a bridge. It moves you from social armor to shared reality. Most of us spend our lives opening the loop. We share a tiny bit of ourselves. But as soon as we feel the slightest bit of fear or judgment, we slam it shut. We retreat back behind the stranger armor. We go back to being fine. But the people who are loved deeply have learned the art of the reveal. They don't wait for a safe moment to be real. They create the safe moment by being real first. They understand a truth that sounds like a paradox. To be loved deeply, you must first be willing to be seen poorly. If you keep playing it safe, you are choosing a life of surface-level comfort over deep-level connection. And the stakes couldn't be higher. The slow fade isn't just something that happens to marriages. It happens to your soul. If you don't learn how to drop the armor, you will spend the rest of your life looking at the people you love through a glass wall. You will be fine, but you will never be known. Tonight, I am going to give you the one word that breaks the glass. I'm going to show you the three-step process to move from being pleasant to being irreplaceable. But fair warning, this is going to feel like a glitch in your system. Your brain is going to scream at you to put the mask back on. It's going to tell you that if you show the real you, people will leave. But the truth is the exact opposite. The people who leave were never loving you anyway. The people who stay, they are the ones who will finally fill that hollow space in your chest. The transformation from liked to deeply loved happens the moment you move from management to manifestation. Stop trying to manage how people see you. Start manifesting who you actually are. Here is your roadmap for the next 24 hours. Step 1. Identify the stranger armor. Your armor is the thing you use to be okay. It's your humor when things get too serious. It's your "I'm fine" when you're actually hurting. It's your tendency to ask a million questions about the other person so they don't ask any about you. Tonight, your job is to notice the moment you put that armor on. It usually feels like a tightening in your throat or a sudden urge to check your phone. That is the stranger barrier. Recognizing it is the first step to dropping it. Step 2. Send a signal of defect. This sounds counterintuitive, but it is the one thing that creates soulmate-level connection. A signal of defect is simply sharing a piece of your reality that isn't polished, that it's not a dumping of all your trauma. It's a tiny crack instead of, "Yeah, work was busy. Try. I actually felt really invisible in my meeting today, and it's been bothering me all afternoon." This is a vulnerability signal. It tells the other person's heart, the bridge is down. You can come over. Step 3. Invite the expansion. When you share that tiny piece of reality, watch what happens. The other person will either pull away, which tells you they aren't ready for depth, or, and this happens 90% of the time, they will match you. They will share their own defect. This is positivity resonance. This is the moment your two separate realities become one shared reality. The science of the click. Simplified, even though we aren't quoting scientists, we can see the results in our own lives. When you and another person are real at the same time, your nervous systems synchronize. Your heart rates begin to mirror each other. You are no longer two people. You are a single unit of experience. This is why some people are loved so deeply. It's not because they are perfect, it's because they are responsive. They don't treat conversations like an interview. They treat them like an expansion. They don't look for similarities. They look for synchrony. The practice of self-expansion. You grow by letting other people in. When you let someone see your fear, you aren't just showing them a weakness. You are inviting them to help you carry it. You are including them in yourself. This is the definition of a soulmate. It is someone who has been invited into the borders of your own identity. Tonight, I want you to pick one person. Not a stranger, but someone you want to be closer to. And I want you to say one thing that is 10% more real than what you usually say. Don't worry about the outcome. Just focus on the reveal. We've been taught that love is a reward for being good. We think if we work hard enough and hide our flaws well enough, someone will eventually hand us the prize of deep connection. But the aha moment is this. Love isn't a reward for your perfection. It's a response to your presence. You cannot be loved if you are not there. And as long as you are hiding behind that mask of being okay, you aren't actually there. You are a hologram. The people who are loved deeply are the ones who have the courage to be unfinished. They understand that the exact moment a stranger becomes a soulmate isn't when you find out you like the same music. It's the moment you realize you can be falling apart in front of them and still be safe. Soulmates are just strangers who decided to stop being polite and start being real. The bridge is always open. You just have to be the one to drop the first piece of armor. If you're ready to stop being liked and start being known, subscribe and join our community. We explore the deep mechanics of what it means to be human every single week. Connection is a choice, and it starts with your next conversation. Disclaimer: this content is for educational purposes only. For personal relationship concerns, please consult a professional. Go be real.